Hey there hunters, welcome back to the Gunners Guild. Today in Wild Hearts I'm going to be going over my sets I'm using for bow and cannon and their foods of course. These are not surprise builds as I'm trying to step away from that and I know we're getting some more content today, maybe tomorrow. So I just want to share my sets now before I have to change them, especially before the end of the month when we get another variant, an armor set, and potentially new meta weapon. But anyway, let's just dive into this. So I'm going to start off with the bow. For the most part, my bow set hasn't changed much, and I'm still prioritizing stamina and stamina regeneration because that's monstrously huge for bow. Plus, there's not very many good offensive armor pieces. Right now, I'm using the Ember Plume hat and body armor. Earplugs is just too good not to use, and the body armor gives me 7% desperation, which is nice. But also 15% self-control, which reduces my stamina consumption when there's only one feint left, so basically on every deeply volatile monster, which is awesome. There's also no good gloves, so I'm sticking with the Golden Tempest gloves for some core boosts, which is just more stamina. The waist are the Cobalt Lava back again for just more core boost because there aren't any good legs. You can run Celestial Dragon if you want the 10% Battle Spirit, which is also, fine, great, but I personally just like the stamina for bow. And lastly, the boots are the Celestial Dragon for, again, more core boost. Lots of stamina. So we have 48% core boost on our gear, which is another bar of stamina, so we have 50% more stamina. The bow is slightly different from what I had before. We're still using Tiger Bow, but with Desperation, Knocking Marvel, and 2 Extreme Archery inherited skills. Before I was just using Speed Shooter and 1 Extreme Archery, but I've opted out of that on the weapon, as 10% stamina reduction is pretty huge. Here's the crafting tree for the bow. If you find that you have more than enough stamina, you can grab Crit Chance or more Broken Beast Screaming Arrow, or something else to pad your damage, or even just Speed Shooter. For the talismans, I'm using, hey look, Speed Shooter Talisman, hence why it's not on the bow. If you want to use it, go for it, but I know it's not mandatory, it's not even mandatory for my playstyle, it's just some comfort skill. I also have a 12% Knocking Marvel Talisman, which you can pick up on the maps, it's a great skill, it really comes in handy. And then I have 6% Extreme Archery, which has 6% stamina reduction, which is quite a bit better than what I can find on regular talismans. And then I'm finishing this off with a 6 and 5% Desperation Talisman, so I have some more added flat damage. With bow, I don't mind Desperation because you usually can dodge enough to avoid attacks, so the loss of defense doesn't mean too much to me. Plus, Desperation is the highest boost for attack skills besides Surprise Attack, so I kind of have to use it, right? For the food, I typically eat for 2 smoked miso fish, which is some fat amounts of stamina reduction, I have near infinite stamina it seems. With the 30 leftover food, I usually decide between either 3 prickly ash pepper for 3% crit chance and 3% crit damage, it's not much but it's something, or 2 smoked pickled fish for another 8% stamina reduction, or 1 pepper and a smoked pickled meat. 2 smoked soy meats and a pickled ash pepper is also not a bad one either if you just want more of a mix between attack with some stamina reduction on the side. But that's the whole bow setup pretty much. Foods have some play, everything else, not so much. I kind of wish we had more armor, but yeah. So with that, let's move on to the cannon. I actually have 2 cannon sets, one with high damage and one is for stamina because, yeah, you still kind of want stamina, especially with cannon's awful roll. So first, let's take a look at the attack version. This is similar to my bow setup, but the gloves are the Ember Plume gloves for more desperation, and the pants are Celestial Dragon for that battle spirit like I had mentioned earlier. The cannon itself is the same hot cannon I showed a long time ago. The idea is to just get lasers off as much as possible. It's not great for solo play, but it works pretty amazingly well online, which is another reason why I have so much desperation on this set, because I typically use this online. Here's the weapon tree for this cannon, lots of pathing around from one side to another. Desperation is a must because we really need the damage, but you can forego Thread Thrifter if you want it's just laser duration. You can opt for something else like Key-Base Fortification or Crit Chance or something else. Now for the talismans on the cannon build, hey look, Key-Base Fortification. This is kind of bonkers, the radius on this thing is huge, I think it's double radius size. And with this you can actually roll cancel your laser without having to roll back into the Key-Base, which feels awesome, so I really like Key-Base Fortification. I also have Thread Thrifter, which is a talisman you can get on the maps as well. I figured since I had 11% on the weapon already, getting close to 20% would be fine. It's not like 3% more damage from another offensive talismans would make that much of a difference either. And lastly, the remaining talismans are again all desperation. So yeah, the cannon has a lot of desperation on it, and I get hit really hard. Obviously not good considering the cannon's mobility, but that's why I use it online only. For solo play, I use the stamina cannon setup, which is literally the same set as my bow. So yeah, no big twist there. I wish I had more options to choose from, but it's literally just my stamina set for bow with the cannon on it. Now, for the food, cannon is a little bit different for bow. I usually eat for 1 smoked dried sliced meat for 6% damage, and then a smoked soy meat for another 5%, as well as some stamina reduction. And that's a nice flat 100 for that 11% damage bonus, which isn't too bad. Sometimes though, I will just run the stamina food like my bow sets if I feel like I'm gonna need it, especially on my desperation cannon setup, but not often. I usually just go full ham on the attack. So yeah, as I mentioned already, I'm going to be using these for my non-surprise setups for the time being until an update shifts the weapons around, or we figure out more about the damage formula or in elemental stuff. But I don't expect it to run into any issues, but we'll see. I'm going to continue updating my set to make builds for Wild Hearts, so stay tuned for those, I guess. But that's going to be it for now. Thank you all for watching, and thank you to my Patreon members. Appreciate everyone a whole ton. If anyone wants to talk shop about games, feel free to join my Discord in the description below. But yeah, thanks and good luck out there, hunters.